What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video, and we're going back to oldie but goodie. Let's do a tier list, but this is going to be a different type of tier list. And by the way, I just want to say thanks for all the this is a little off topic, but thanks for all the support in the previous video. I appreciate all of the comments. The comments were really like they surprised me. I didn't expect the positivity necessarily that I got pretty much from everybody that responded. There were some people that still were on the screw goat games and screw this game bandwagon, which is fine. I don't expect everybody to be on board with it, but yeah. So we're gonna put together a tier list, different type of tier list. I'm gonna do it. I'm basically going to rank them by class. And there's not a great way to do this, in my opinion. I think just the basic tiers, S, A, B, C, whatever you want to do, is kind of easier than ranking, because so many of them have kind of a unique situation that they lend themselves to. Kind of depends on the comp, but I'm going to try to just go, it's basically going to be based on which one would I prefer to play over another one, and I will try to take different things into account when necessary, but for the most part, it's going to be, would I play this one over that one? All right, and then of course I know plenty of you will have something to say. We all know that's how it goes with these tier lists. So we're just gonna go through the tanks, then warriors, then marksmen, then mages, then assassins, and then I have an NA category here. If I feel, and there's very few, there's a couple of the new ones. I don't know if I'm gonna use this column, honestly, but there's some. I may use it, but I kind of put this column here because there's some I don't have a ton of experience with, but I know nobody wants to hear that, especially about the new champions. So we'll just see how it goes. All right, so let's jump into the tank. So the first one up is going to be Mr. Sallyhorn. Okay, and this is like, they're not coming up in any particular order. I have them all paired by clan. But ultimately it's just going to be kind of the order I have the images here on the screen. So, and then obviously we have female Sallyhorn, who I think is probably the worst tank in the game. All right, and then the Orc clan, the Karguks. I would still play Sally over both of them. I think both of them are fairly useless. Actually, I think because of her AoE stun that she has, the female Karguk is better than the male. So that's how we're going to throw that up there. Okay. Next one, Lionstones. I think that clan kind of stands above the other ones that I have up here right now. Female Lionstone has been a monster since they fixed her buff. Alright. Male Lionstone. I suspect he's better if you soup him up with vigor, since his shield kind of scales by strength. Can probably come up with some pretty strong shields if you put vigor on him, but overall he doesn't offer much. He kind of stands there behind his shield the whole match. So I don't know where I place him, but he's better than the other four we have up there. All right, now we have the cows. Okay, male cow is horrible and awful and does nothing good, and he is basically a reskinned male Karguk, only he does it worse. Okay. And if you're curious about what I'm talking about, he does it worse. He does the taunt that Karguk does, as well as both for their ultimates. The difference is Karguk, the orc, does his healing with the damage he does from the ultimate, as opposed to male cow, who gets healing after his taunt wears off based on how much damage he took. So he actually has to live through his ultimate, as where male orc gets prepared to take on the damage. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so female cow, I am not nearly as high on her as I know other people are. But there aren't a lot of great tanks like she has to be, in my opinion, right here. At least in this set so far. I would use her before I would use male Lionstone. But she doesn't replace female Lionstone in my mind. I know a lot of people were running her with the stun comps as kind of the Devala counter. And I know my experience probably isn't fair because my Devala was kind of a monster compared to everybody else I was going up against. But I never, ever felt threatened by a female cow stun. And I don't even know if it's working right. They said they fixed it, but it still doesn't look like it works. When the bubble pops, it doesn't look like it's stunning anybody. So very few times have I lost a match or even been threatened in a match because of female cow. I think once or twice she caught me with a lucky stun as my Devala was going into or out of her ultimate. So I think I'm just not a big fan of her. Okay, I shouldn't say I'm not a big fan of her. I don't like her as much as everybody else did who talked about her being the second coming. Alright, and last but not least, we have the trees. Galabar, God, I don't even remember their name. I've just always called them trees, except for the video I think I did. Or the mention, I don't even know. No, it was a short that I did for them. Anyway, I'm rambling. So male tree honestly belongs here because I really haven't used him much. But I think I feel safe putting him. I want to put him there because you can't get much worse than these four. You really can't. I think Sally Horn, with his displacement, his active ability, has a little more use. Because the few times I have used this guy, it's kind of cool how he jumps up in front of somebody, turns into a tree, but then I think he's stuck in that spot for the remainder of the match, if I remember, because he never gets out of tree form. Female tree, however, I would put second behind female Lionstone. Everybody was ranting and raving about how good she was when she first came out. I have not built her up that strong yet to fully test her out. I suspect she's probably not quite as good as everybody. That's how most of these, myself included, I include myself in this, but she is not, I'm going to guess she's not as good as everybody was saying when she first came out. We like to jump to conclusions with the new champion. So that's how I would rank the tanks in the game. I don't think I want to make any changes to that. That looks about right to me. Okay, warriors. So let's start with some of the worst in the game, which is a shame because I think a lot of people got excited about the game when they saw the Karg clan. However, for whatever reason, they decided that the Kargs needed to suck. God, these are all just bad. I would probably put him right there. I do still, and I always have, if you've watched my other videos, I've always given male Karg a little bit of a leg up because of his burn effect that he has. And then female Miss Spin to Win is obviously going to be better than all of those. Alright. Griffin, male Griffin belongs there as far as what's on the board right now. And female Griffin is just probably there. She's really bad. Okay, now probably the coolest looking characters in the game and the best characters for making hybrids with, if you like that look. We have Doom. Um, okay, so Doom and Griffin, and I've covered this in other videos, but if you're new and you haven't seen those videos yet, or you just forgot, Griffin and Doom, identical stats. Not only identical stats, but their actives are both a knockback. So they're nearly identical champions. There's a little bit of difference when it comes to their ultimate and their passives. I give Griffin the nod over Doom only because he's easier to get. His companion is 18 favors and he's a 1-star, so he's simple to breed. Doom is great for districts, but that's not really how I'm ranking these things. But these two are nearly identical. Female Doom, she has a knock-up on her ultimate. If that was a stun instead of a knock-up, she would be a much higher tier champion. Alright. Nas. I go back and forth on these a lot. Also, let me preface this by saying there are not very many late game usable warriors. Okay? Alright, that being said, I'm going to put male Nash right here. I personally actually think he's better than Doom. I would use him before I would use female Doom because of the displacement that he, you know what, I'm just going to leave him there because, again, I said I'm making this list based on where I would use them. So I think he's better than Doom. She's going to give you more damage, but as I've said half a billion times since this game has come out and since I've made videos and since people have been asking me questions, not everybody on the team needs to be full of damage. You need a comp that works. And I think his displacement lends himself into comps. If you're building the comps correctly, lends himself into comps better than she does. Female Nas, I want to put here because I don't have a ton of experience with her. However, again, because I know nobody really wants to hear this, as far as I'm not going to rank them. So we're going to rank them. However, and I want to preface this by saying this rank right here is based purely on theory crafting and suspicion. I have not tested this by any means. So I am telling you she belongs here in the NA category because I don't have enough time with her. But based on theory, I'd put her here. And the reason I put her here is because steadfast is such a strong trait. And if you're not using steadfast on your champions, you need to be. If you don't know, that's the Gultung clan trait. It's a very strong shield and it's repeatable every 6 seconds. Well, her whole kit is about breaking shields. So I think in the current meta with steadfast being so strong, I think I would use her before I would use anybody on this list. End game. Early game, Ugril is still queen. Sorry. Right? If you're early and you're new, Ugril is your queen. Build her up, run her. She's gonna get you a long ways in that campaign. Okay. Now we get to some of the good warriors. Okay. First, we got male Samir. This is probably everybody's favorite warrior right now. Mr. Bad Breath is what I like to call him. He roars at people and they get stunned. He does a lot of damage. He's good. The displacement is something that you need to build around. And I've seen people build it wrong. Okay, I've seen people do things like if you have female Gultung on your back line and she's draining people's energy, and then his active goes off and pushes everybody out of the Gultung's range, which gives them that split second to build up that final amount of energy and go into their ultimate. So you have to build a dive comp if you're using him, in my opinion. You have to build a comp that wants to go forward. He is a great warrior. Not my favorite warrior, but he's a great warrior. Okay. I personally like the female better. I've said this all along, and I know this goes against the grain, and I know people are going to argue with me about it. And to all those of you that want to argue with me about it, I do think two things. I think there's a legitimate discussion to be had as far as which Samir is better. I pick her because he just gives me damage. I can get damage from anywhere. Okay. She gives me a 5-second AoE stun. I can't get that from anywhere. About as close as I can get from that is male Zace, and we all know how that works out, right? It's great if there's champions in that spot 10 seconds after he casts the ability, because for whatever reason the Zace clan does not use 2-day shipping. They use snail mail. It takes 7 business days for their ultimates to be delivered. So I favor female Samir. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say to people that want to have the argument female over male is, if you think the female belongs over the male, then you're just wrong. But of course, you guys are more than welcome to tell me I'm wrong. All right. The snakes. All right, so male snake, I will say, belongs. Oops. I think I scrolled out of the. Oh, the window started changing. Okay, let me scroll it up. He belongs in the NA column. Not enough experience with him. I suspect he belongs somewhere in this area. I would probably use him there. His kid is so weird. Like, I don't understand the pull you in and then knock you away thing. Yeah. And then female snake, who I was super excited about. And I know a lot of people were super excited about. And then she just flopped. I don't think she's really that good. However, like, I have to put her here, I think. And the only reason that I would put her there, you know what? I would put her maybe here. There's somewhere in here, not above the Samirs, but somewhere in here, I still feel like, me personally, and remember, NAS is kind of a theory, so this one could be completely wrong. Ugrel, like, it's really the Samir in the warrior clan, and that's about it, honestly. Some of these you can get away with early. The snakes, their kits are bad, and I feel bad saying that because I was so hyped up on them. But it just is what it is. Like, I do not know how you put as much stuff into a single kit as she has. The energy drain, I think there's a silence, the pull, like, she has. If you just list out what the kit does, there's no champion in the game that has a longer list than her. And somehow they messed it up. Alright, and then the final one that I'm going to put into this category, because to me that's how she plays, but I really don't know what category to put her in It doesn't make sense really to put her in the warrior category, but that's where I'm going to put her because to me that's kind of how she plays, is kind of a frontline warrior type person. Obviously, you could argue mage. Obviously, you could argue assassin because that's where the hybrid comes from. But kind of in my mind, she's a warrior. We're going to throw in the Bloodcraft here. Scarlet, I think, is her name. I think there's a Bloodstorm, might be the clan name or whatever you want to call it. And then she's easily number one. Okay. In my opinion, behind Devala comes Scarlet. It's really that simple. Like, again, you can argue with me about whether she belongs in the warrior category, but to me, she plays like a warrior. I play her like a warrior. I position her like a warrior. So, that's why I put her there. That's what she feels like to me. All right, let's move on. Marksman. Okay, so we'll just get our first couple up here. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to kind of throw them up here. There's not a lot to argue in here. Like, Trevane is more important. Gundorf, female Gundorf, is stronger than I think most people realize. Put some vigor on her and go see what happens. Just a little whisper there that I heard from a little birdie. She's actually a lot better than I think people realize. All right. Dark elves. Okay. There's not really much for me to talk about with these. Some of these marksmen are just really, really bad. They don't do anything. There are very few marksmen who matter on your board, comparatively speaking, from the class. Not quite as bad as warriors. Warriors have like 3. But there's very few marksmen. I guess you can say that in every class. All right. The Dragon Pirates. Yes. I did not mess that up. I do think female Gundorf is better than female Dragon Pirate, but not better than male Dragon Pirate. Male Tidestorm is still a beast. The one thing I will caution you about is please stop pairing him up with female Devala. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to fight somebody and they have a Tide and the male Tide in the background and they have a female Devala, and I'm down to my last hero and the Devala goes into her blood pool and Tide pulls me right off of the blood pool and 0 damage. Stop running Tide with female Devala. Stop it. Okay. And then obviously the 2 most impactful in my mind, okay, female Gulltongue, top 5 in my mind. Male Gulltongue, not too far behind, probably top 10 of all champions. Okay, all right, let's jump into the mages. So we just got to get some here on the board. You got male Loom, female Loom, Ignis, and Ignis. Okay. There was a time where female Ignis was by far the best thing in the game. I don't think she matters really that much anymore. I know some people still run her, probably because they still have her built. Like, I have tons of them. I haven't built one up yet, just because I really don't think she has a place in the meta. Everybody knows how I feel about him. If you're new, male Lux, worst champion in the game, period. Okay, so female Lux, right there. Okay, I have actually started running female Lux, and I've said this for a long time. To me, female Lux is really doesn't deserve a space on your board until you get her built up to 13, 14, 15 stars, where you can start making the ultimate 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds, 9 seconds. Because that is a significant amount of time. But when she's giving you 3, 4, 5 seconds, it's not Like because she doesn't do any damage, she doesn't do anything else for you, and you are exchanging an ultimate for basic attacks. Okay? So 5 seconds of basic attacks is not enough time. But when you're talking 8, 9 seconds, and that's so long that by the time they break out of it, she's almost ready to charm them again, now you start getting significant. So at least based on what's on the board up here, that's where I would place her. Okay. Male Zace, like, I think he has a niche use. I've even made a video about him. It's kind of a Davala counter. But that was before we got some of the new counters that we can use on her. All right. Oh God, like that's just the worst of a bad bunch, I guess. Okay. He used to be probably my favorite champion. I think he's kind of fallen off. 30%, comparatively speaking, these days is not a big buff, even though it is constant, even though it's his passive, so it's always going. Not a big enough buff. He does nuke, but with Steadfast, the nuke meta is dead. Okay, and he does give a shield, which is pointless because, again, of Steadfast. He's still strong. So, like, if you don't have a better option, you can use him. I would even let you argue with me about these two. I favor Loom because I use her essentially as a battery for my big champion. I run one big champion, and I haven't been bothered with getting more champions up into the 80, 90, 100 vigor range. But essentially, so like my big champion now is Scarlet. I run no energy traits on her. I run energetic, brutal, steadfast, and then I run all of the energy traits on my Loom: focused, agile, ambitious, and so Loom hits her ultimate, gives it to Scarlet, and then Scarlet can do her thing. I think female Loom's value, because especially with these Bloodcraft champions, because you now only have 3 trait slots, is super valuable. Like, I think she's really big right now. Okay. Second to worst champion in the game, possibly. Horrible. We have way better healers now. We have almost always had better healers, and even when we didn't have better healers, her healing sucks. It hits the wrong person, and defense doesn't matter, so her active ability that increases defense is just bad. Okay? Alright. Now, lightning bolt people. Like, I know he probably belongs here. Okay? I've even had somebody whose opinion I value on our Discord server tell me like he's a must play at top levels. But you know what? I'm good with that. I am. I don't run him. So my personal preference is I would put him here. But that's also because just I haven't had the ability to build him up. I'm still like, because of the way my champions are built, I still can't, like, I couldn't take Loom off of the board for him. But in this current meta of stuns, he has a very reliable stun. He has a shield that keeps him alive. Couple that with steadfast, he's probably super hard to kill. He's still a nuke. I think the nuke meta is mostly dead, but he can still do his thing. No, I'm sorry, I still got to do this. Again, these are my preferences. I would not replace Loom for him. Not currently. not with the Bloodcraft champions being so strong. Okay. Female, probably put right here. Okay. Her active is actually insane. It's like 800% damage on that stupid little electro snowball thing. If you put vigor on her, she could probably wipe out half the team by the time her active hit. Like, it's so stupid how much damage that is. Again, I haven't been able to build her up, but it might be there might be a couple projects there that I need to get started on. Okay, let's go into what possibly might be the worst clan, all around clan in the game. No, probably not, because Kargs exist. There's just nothing good about this next clan. I would play him here, probably, and her. Ugh, I'd probably play here. I used to be so excited about female Scorching Fire. She just didn't pan out the way that I thought she was going to. She is bad. Put 85 vigor on her. She was out damaged by a male ASN that had no vigor. Like, it was just so bad. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting clan, and I think their place is... Damn. It's such a tough choice. Like, I know she's at least here. She's a better healer than Male Loom, because she also has buffs. I think his Resurrect is overrated. I just don't think Ignis is it anymore. See, I played Lux instead of her, so it's hard for me to put her ahead of Lux. But I also don't play these three. I play Lux, so I'm not putting... So, what do you guys think? Huh, kidding, you can't answer me. I'm just going to leave her there. That's fine. My instinct tells me to put her here, but I don't know that that's accurate. Actually, I think I would put her here, and here's why. I think her kit is phenomenal. Healing and buffs, all in one. I think she offers similar to male ASN, but more relevant. Healing is more relevant than his shield. I think her damage boost is 80%, which is like the third largest damage buff. His is only 30. She's more relevant than him. I think I would play her over him. I do play Lux, but again, I have to leave her down here. The charm is strong, but it's not strong all the way through. Like, you have to, like I said, get it up to 13, 14, 15 stars. And that's literally all she does, so I can't put her up there. Okay. Male White Eye. God, these two are just not you two. These two are kind of really interchangeable. I don't care which order you want to put these in. If you need a healer, then use a healer. If not, use him. He's just really good too. So there's that. And then this next one I don't even own yet, so I really kind of have to put her here. And that's Phoenix, the newest Bloodcraft champion. However, there's a guy in my Discord who has her, and I really trust his opinion in a lot of things. So I'm going to put her here. He tells me that she's the new Davala killer because she has an execute feature, which when she infects somebody with it, if they hit, I think it's 15% health within the 5 seconds after she infects them with this execute feature, they instantly die, and apparently it bypasses Davala's immunity. she's super strong apparently. So we're going to put her up there, but understand she really belongs here because I don't even own her yet. So that one's just based on what I'm being told. So yeah, that's how I would rank the mages and assassins. Let's just she's the best champion in the game. There's no point in me leaving you waiting and wondering where I'm gonna put her. All right. So let's get some here out on the board. I like her better than him. He's better than both of them. She's dog water. Let's see here. Where would I play them? I think I would play him above her. I even think I would play her above her. Alright, that feels better. Alright, we're going to do it that way. Let's go through some of this now that I have. There's a couple more that we still got to put on here. Female Devala, best champion in the game. I don't care what anybody tells you. They're lying to you. Even if Phoenix is the Devala killer I'm being told she is, and once everybody has a Phoenix, Devala may fall out of favor. It's going to take a long time for everybody to get a Phoenix. Devala, because of her immunity and because of her healing, is literally the only, and I don't care what anybody, I've had people tell me female Gultung is better than Devala. I've had people tell me female Tree is better than Devala. You guys are crazy. Female Devala is literally the only champion you can crash an entire gate in Valley of Conquerors with solo. And I will explain to you why. Okay? And I have attempted this with not every champion in the game, but multiple different champions, and it was very clear as to why Devala is the only one that can do that. Because I took my big vigor and I put it on a bunch of different champions and I tried a bunch of different things. And the reason that Devala is the only champion that can do something like that is because she can literally run into a match at almost 0 health. They hit her. Because she's so low in health, she almost instantly fills her ultimate, instantly fills her energy. Okay. But she has the immunity, so they can't kill her for 5 seconds anyway. And then she can go into her blood pool, blow up the entire team, and even if she doesn't kill the entire team in the first try, she comes back out of the ground at full health. Like, there is no other champion, because if you go try and crash like a 15, 16, 18 team gate solo with any other champion on this board, they might get through the first 5. They may even get through the first 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. But eventually, they will get left super low. They will go into the next match with almost no health, and they'll get blown up and they'll lose. Devala is the only one, because of her immunity, that has that capability. Male Yiv is still strong. I am still a big fan of Male Yiv. And if you go back and watch some of my early videos, like, he was always like a S tier champion for me. I think he's still very strong. Put him on one side with female Gultung on the other side, even though she'll be in the back row. And you have energy control on both frontline sides. Super huge. I put Strixbane here because he's kind of a mini Devala in that his ultimate makes him invulnerable while he's doing his little hack and slash thing. Male Devala, I think his kit is kind of bad, but I also think everybody forgets that his ultimate does energy control. So you could put him in the center of an energy control team with maybe like Yiv, and I'll even say female Snake on the front line. Like, if you wanted some super energy control, put him in your 2 slot. Gultung, female Gultung in your back line. And then, I don't know, somebody else in the back line there. But you have super energy control over that. Okay. I have said for a long time, and it's still true, although I don't know that she could really find a place in the meta now. Um, Female likeness better than most people think. Female Strixbane is an interesting one, but requires a specific type of comp built around her because she jumps into that back line. So there's possibilities there. But again, I think it's a very specific comp, which kind of hampers her there. Male likeness has one of the stronger crowd controls. The problem with it is with most of these comps where you're trying to group stuff together for your Devala or for some other type of AoE attack, he just spreads everybody out, so it's kind of hard there. And even though female Yiv is probably the most assassin of the assassins, like she just doesn't really do anything. Female Fox, like she belongs here. I haven't used her almost at all, but she's very assassin-y. I don't even know what word I'm trying to use. She's kind of like female Yiv in that she's very much an assassin, high damage, but doesn't do much else for you. I would probably put Fox Boy somewhere in here. I personally think I would put him here. Okay. The only thing the main thing I dislike about him is that he continues to swap spaces throughout the entire course of the match, and sometimes that can really make things screwy. But I have had somebody who uses him in their main team tell me that, one of the strengths of the Switch is that he'll swap spots with female Devala as she's going into her ultimate, and then she has no targets because she's on the wrong side of the screen now. He also has, I believe, he still has statistically, at least according to the descriptions, the strongest ultimate as far as damage is concerned. I could be wrong. I think he's at least top 2, top 3. It was tied at one point. I think he surpassed tied, and I don't know if anybody else has yet. But I would use him here third probably when it comes to assassins. At least for who's on the board now. Again, her, like, I haven't even heard things about her yet. The Blossom Clan literally just came out like 2 days ago from the time that I'm recording this. My highest one of her is a 3-star, and I haven't heard any feedback from anybody as far as them trying to use her, so I can't even give you a guess as far as where she goes. The male, however, I've heard really strong things about, but I've also heard very strong things about things before. I've used him, so I'm at least somewhat familiar with what his kit does. I don't have him very strong yet. He's only like an 11-star, I think, 10-star. I think he's going to fall right here in the meta. He may even be right here. I'm going to put him right here just because I feel like most of the feedback in the beginning from new champions is a little overzealous. And so I'm going to put him here. He very well may end up here. He's going to be, I'm fairly certain, one of the best assassins in the game. One of the best in the assassin clan. Alright, so that is our list. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave me those comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm Belligerent. Peace.